season, so don't expect a blowout today.
Exactly. I think we're going to have a good game here today, and it's fun to see Norwalk back in this tournament. When I was around, Norwalk was a big name in 1A back when it was 2 classes, so it's fun to be able to come back here, and definitely some recognizable high school names.
The 2A tournament just getting started here from Lead Fields in Ames, Iowa, the home of the Iowa State Cyclones, of course. Both of these teams hoping to make their way to Championship Saturday, but you can't get there without picking up a W here this afternoon. Looking forward to seeing both of these two teams duke it out here on the IGHSAU digital network, powered by Mid-American. When we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups, and then we'll cast off to the open of our afternoon. The 2A quarterfinals are next.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hitting the starting line here for the 2A quarterfinals. The girls' state soccer tournament here in Ames, powered by Mid-American Energy, brought to you on the IGHSAU digital network. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason, yes, known as Natalie Pearson when she played for the Valley Tigers, but now she is my wife. We'll get that out of the way right now. Great to have a married broadcast team here this afternoon, and really great to have you all aboard. It's a little bit of a balmy day, but I'm sure, Natalie, you probably dealt with some greater heat during state tournament time than this, but mid-80s, we do have a little bit of cloud cover. Should be pretty good conditions for today's games?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little breeze, but not too worrisome to annoy us that try to shoot that ball a little higher. It is quite hot, actually, so good on these gals, but it's better than 90 degrees. So I'm sure that they're a happy crew, and they're happy that they aren't playing a little bit later.
Well, I'm certainly happy for shade. Great work by our broadcast team here to set us up with a nice tent. We're covered, not too windy, and we're ready to rock and roll here for the 2A quarterfinals. It's Lewis Central and Norwalk looking to punch their ticket into the semifinals here in Ames. We'll get ready to meet the officials. We'll get ready to meet the starting lineups and the entire roster for both the Titans and the Warriors. And with that, we'll hand it over to the PA announcing side here at Lead Fields to meet our combatants this afternoon, getting ready for the quarterfinals of the 2A state tournament here in Ames.
Got to tell them to face this way.
Good afternoon, soccer fans. Welcome to the 2026 Girls State Soccer Quarterfinal matchup presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Today we have the Lewis Central Titans versus the Norwalk Warriors. Let's meet the teams. First, the non-starters for Lewis Central. Number 1, Kinsey Jones. Number 5, Emma Kafka. Number 6, Bella Erzman. Number 7, Dallas Thompson. Number 9, Reese Gradeville. Number 10, Ireland White. Number 11, Anna Whitney. Number 13, Haley Hansen. Number 17, Cassie Williams. Number 19, Jalen Kilbane. The assistant coaches are Sydney Dennis and Jake Gradeville. Now let's meet the non-starters for Norwalk. Number 0, Elise Lemon. Number 2, Bella Moody. Number 3, Aubrey Holcomb. Number 5, Ava Wagner. Number 7, Stella Livermore. Number 10, Mackenzie Jones. Number 13, Ella Batten. Number 19, Ava Brungart. Number 21, Chloe Hermansdorfer. Number 25, Madison Strong. Number 26, Elena O'Connor. The assistant coaches are Ben Von Dieter and Katie Arnold. Now let's meet the starters. First for Lewis Central. Number 0, Haley Purcell, the goalie. Number 2, Finley Hope. Number 3, Lainey Duff. Number 4, Lucy Edwards. Number 8, Zoe Overall. Number 12, Kayla Allen. Number 14, Stella Robichaud. Number 15, Ava Baker. Number 16, Mallory Bach. Number 20, Olivia Katzer. Number 21, Riley Russo. The head coach is Jesse Smith. Now let's meet the starters for Norwalk. Number 0, the goalie, Katie Lichty. Number 1, Pearl Brown. Number 6, Olivia Welch. Number 11, Avery Dryman. Number 12, Taylor Schreiber. Number 15, Ella Seeley. Number 17, Tatum Miller. Number 18, Gabrielle Dryman. Number 20, Addie Wood. Number 23, Paige Nichols. Number 32, Claire Sandoff. The head coach for Norwalk, Andrew Messer. Ladies and gentlemen, our officials for this afternoon's match. Your referee, Miranda Woodcock. Your AR1, Nick Erdman. Your AR2, Terrence Moriarty. And the fourth official, Jeremy Allen. Fans, it's now time to play state tournament soccer.
To a quarterfinals underway here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason, and a reminder here that Iowa Farm Bureau is the sole title sponsor of the IGHSAU, presenting sponsor of the state soccer tournament. Looking forward to a great week here in Ames. Natalie, when you were a Valley Tiger, it was in Muscatine, but certainly walking in today, it feels like it's found a great home here, year 2, up here in Ames for the state girls soccer tournament.
Yeah, the Ames complex is a beautiful complex that I've had the pleasure of playing at a handful of times. And wow, they just do it so big here. It's great. Like, they did a great job 15, 20 years ago, but as the sport continues to blossom here in Iowa, so does all the fanfare. So it's just a great atmosphere to be in here with these gals.
A couple of teams that were not here for the first state tournament in Ames last season. Neither Norwalk nor Lewis Central made their way to the state tournament. Both fell in regional championship games, so two teams that are fresh. It's a new venue, and it means more nerves maybe than you might see for a team later on today like Waverly Shellrock, who's been here so often. How do you settle nerves in a moment like this? What do you remember from your first state tournament appearance?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a combination of both pride and humility. You get out there and you realize, you know what, this is a good team I play on. We're a good group of gals. We know how to play this game. There's a reason we're here. And then you have a little individual retrospect. I'm a good player. I know how to play my position. I'll show up. And then there's some humility of, oh, for Norwalk, we've only played this team once and we only beat them by a goal. Or Lewis Clark, we're there. We're available to play this team. We only were down by 1 point. So it's that combination of remembering how great you are and also remembering how much of a privilege this is.
Norwalk in purple, their kits. They will travel left to right. For those of you tuning in this afternoon, great to have you aboard as the 2A quarterfinals are getting started here in Ames. Just behind us here at Leeds Field number 2, we've also got 2A action going on between Waverly Shellrock and North Polk. Everybody wondering, will it be a two-horse race this year? We've seen so often Waverly Shellrock and Dallas Center Grimes. They've met in the 2A final 4 of the last 5 seasons. And Norwalk trying to step into that equation here this year as the number 1 seed. They'll take on the number 8th seeded Lewis Central Titans. As Finley Vogt ready to get things started, the first possession will go to the Titans. And we are underway. Lewis Central, a team that you look at how they've gotten the job done this season. Strong defensive numbers, 11 clean sheets for Haley Purcell, the junior netminder. It was just 1 goal that Norwalk was able to score when they earned a 1-0 victory over the Titans back on May 15th. So Norwalk knows this will not be an easy task to get in offensively on a pretty stout Titans team here this afternoon. That one's going to sail wide of the net.
A shot right off the bat from Lewis Central from the first minute. Just left wide, but making sure the goalie knows she's there.
And for fans tuning in at home that don't know, hockey is my sport through and through. Grew up in Minnesota, came down to work in professional hockey down here in Iowa. And in hockey, they talk a lot about shot volume. In soccer, is that something that you hear as much?
No, soccer is a possession game. It is all about how many passes can you keep together. So here, right, we've got 2 passes, well, the ref's in the way there. We got about 2 or 3 passes. The goal is to keep possession, move forward towards the game, towards the goal. And it's a lot less scoring opportunities than hockey, obviously, just because of the yardage. But it's all about a possession game.
First throw-in of the day. Norwalk gets their first offensive possession. Pearl Brown, the senior, tried to sling that in. A chance, and it's an early strike. Norwalk, not even minutes into the game, and they're on the board.
So that was a beautiful pass there at the end of the goal line. Pass back within the 6, and the goalie didn't even see her, and she hit top right there.
Believe it was Addie Wood who was the smoking gun in the box. Great work out of the corner from Pearl Brown to get it into the middle. And a nice finish as well from Wood, who tucked in 14 during the regular season. And she's been a player to keep an eye on, her and Olivia Welch. Now 15 goals apiece this season, so the Warriors, no rust coming out of the regional tournament. They were ready. Their first offensive possession of the game, and it leads to an opening goal.
And Lewis Central, they need to take a second, take a breath, collect their thoughts right off the opening kick there. They kicked it out. So they just need to take a breath, calm down. Remember, it's a long game. It's 80 minutes, and they're only 2 minutes in.
So Lewis Central looking to reset here. Not easy to do that early in a game, but the good news I'm sure is lots of game left. Norwalk possessing back in their own half here with Tatum Miller, the sophomore. Now Avery Dryman. Nice connection with Pearl Brown, who set up the early goal from the far side of the field. She's now on the near side here. That one fizzles out, but already looking like Pearl Brown's going to cover a lot of ground here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Norwalk team, they're great talkers. We could just hear it on the sideline. All three of these gals were talking the whole time, and that is how you are successful in soccer, is letting your teammates know the people that are around you and which way you can move your body when you can't see your competitors.
Certainly a great bench boss in Andrew Messer, his 13th season with the Warriors. 5 state appearances for the Warriors in that time with Messer at the helm. A tremendous record for Andrew. 154 wins, 68 losses, and 5 draws. So lots of W's in his quiver for these Warriors.
Yeah, on the way up, Ben, we were talking about these head coaches that have been around for, decades. I think my coach has been around for 25 years at this point. And just the success they've seen, and a great state to coach in, and great teams one after another.
Well, you were talking about Chapman with Valley. Just picked up his 500th career win recently.
He can thank us later for that.
Great to have you aboard here. The IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American, is now a break, and there's our first offside whistle of the afternoon. And those can be some of the most gut-wrenching moments for a defender, Natalie, because it's a gamble. You run that line up. If you get it right, we see what we saw there. If you get it wrong, it could be a 2-on-0 break.
Absolutely. That was great work by Norwalk. She saw 2 girls. She had one on the left, one on the right. She stepped forward before that gal released the ball. The second the Lewis Central individual releases the ball, those girls are off, but she already had them both offside. So well done by the defender of Norwalk.
Claire Sandoff and Paige Nichols anchoring the middle of that back line. And Sandoff's going to be tested here as the dangerous Zoe Overall was galloping after one there. That ends up out of play. Overall will be the girl that's marked most in this game by the likes of Sandoff and Nichols. Overall, who arguably one of the more dangerous tandems in all of 2A soccer when you look at her. And then, as we talked about, the injured Ireland White. Between the two, 28 goals for White, 25 for Overall. But of course, White not playing due to injury. She will not play in this tournament. Hasn't stopped Overall, has not stopped the Titans, though, as 14 games in, they lost White. But yet, here the Titans are at the state tournament, trying to unseat the number 1 seeded Norwalk Warriors, who currently lead 1-0 on a goal by Addie Wood. Came just minutes into the soccer match here in Ames.
Absolutely, and Norwalk knows it. Their defenders, I believe that was Paige Nichols, and I'm trying to figure, I think they're doing a flat back 4 there. She knew a good player was coming at her, and she got rid of that ball quickly, and sometimes you just have to get the ball out of the field so you can slow the game down and slow the player down. That's exactly what they did with Zoe Overall.
Looks like we might be having a substitution getting ready here in front of us for Lewis Central.
It's just great to see that soccer players still wear pre-wrap on their hair.
Some things never change,
Exactly.
I suppose. Jalen Kilbane getting set to join the match here. And here is the savvy Overall, and she got tripped up there on the far wing. Looked like she caught the boot of Paige Nichols. That'll slow the play down, and it'll give a throw in to the Titans here, trailing 1.
And notice how when she fell, she got right back up, unlike a normal traditional Italian soccer player. Those girls are tough.
Throwing shade out here at the Italian soccer team here in Ames. Although as someone who played the game, you can make that slight. I cannot. My soccer skills are extremely poor. You've shown me that a time or two. There's a long try from just inside of the throw-in line, and that one winds up behind the cage. And so Norwalk will get it back here.
And teams have different plays for kicks like that. Oftentimes when you have that many many gals in front of the net, you want to get it high in the air so you can get someone's head or chest on it to bring it down. On the ground's a little bit more difficult when you have that many women go towards the net.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to the 2026 Iowa Girls State Soccer Quarterfinals.
Ball in the middle of the field, able to be scooped up by Avery Baker Jr. Now room for Stella Robichaud. That one goes in to the cheap seats down there in the corner. Quick throw in. Overall, who's had a lot of the ball. A beautiful move. Make it one more. Dancing her way in. And that's a clean tackle. Overall goes down, and then Robichaud brings a Warrior down on the far side in Paige Nichols. And the team in purple will get the ball back from that. But wow, slicing and dicing her way in was the junior overall there.
My goodness. You see why she has the numbers that she does. She just moves through players. She just moved past 3 different players, cutting left and right. She is someone to watch this game.
That just makes you wonder just how dangerous this Titans team was when White was healthy.
I'm telling you, it's Titans versus the Warriors. It's going to be a war today.
How far on the drive up before you came up with that pun?
I just did about 2 minutes ago.
By the way, that is a substitution, by the way, with Kilbane coming in, courtesy of IMT Insurance. Substitutions in today's match are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Looks like a few substitutions coming in on either side here.
Again, I continue to be impressed by Norwalk here on the right side close to us with their talking. They are constantly saying who has the ball, where the ball is, and that's why they're able to get forward on the field so quick. Lewis Central needs to kind of work around that.
Another substitution brought to you by IMT for the Titans. Coming in is Dallas Thompson, as here comes Overall again, speeding forward. Out comes Jalen Kilbane. Kilbane trying to cut into her right foot. Boy, Paige Nichols has been just superb defensively so far in this game, covering tons of the field back on her own half, and now dashing ahead comes Elena O'Connor and the Warriors. Incisive look there. That one's picked cleanly by Kayla Allen, the captain of this Lewis Central team.
You can see the confidence of Norwalk's midfield with their defenders. They don't get back as much as quickly because they can count on the Paige Nichols, which is just great when you know you can trust your sweeper and your stopper.
When you have a back line like that, cheat might not be the right word, but do you almost lean offensively when you know they may not need you as much on the back end?
Absolutely. If you know that you can trust your flat back four, your diamond four, as an offensive mid especially, but even a stopper, they can go a little bit more forward, or you said cheat, because they know that they can trust their sweeper.
All right, and with the heat, we're going to take a mandatory water break here. I think the broadcast team could use one too.
Wow, it is warm and we are under a tent.
So with that, we'll cut to break. Here for the first time, it's a 1-0 lead early on. The Norwalk Warriors showing why they're number one here in the 2A quarterfinals. Back with plenty more from Ames next.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines, It's a trip. Make it yours.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Yeah!
Fairway, it's the one you need.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit
81 degrees and sunny here in Ames. Everyone's refueled after a mandatory water break, broadcasters included. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason, the rest of our broadcast crew, bringing you the 2A quarterfinals here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American. A 1-0 Norwalk lead here, number 1 versus number 8 in the tournament. Statewide, Lewis Central coming in, number 29 in the state, number 6 for Norwalk, and that includes all classes. So some love certainly for the Warriors, and with a record of 16-1-2. Why not? Some great wins throughout the course of the season as well for Norwalk. They've seen a lot of the 2A bracket here coming into Ames. Dallas Center Grimes, Waverly Shellrock was the only loss of the season that Norwalk was handed. They beat DCG, they beat North Polk, they also beat 1A state tournament team in Des Moines Christian earlier this year. And as we mentioned, the win against Lewis Central. So this is a Norwalk team that they like the teams they played coming into this tournament, which is not something that every team can say. Sometimes because of where you're located regionally, you don't get as stiff of a test as you'd like coming into the tournament. That's not the case for Norwalk.
Yeah, they've been well prepared for this match and well prepared for this tournament overall. It's nice to have some competitors and maybe some easier games, but they've had consistent competitors. And like you said earlier, this team that's the 8th seed out of 8 seeds, they only beat them 1-0. So, I think that humility will continue to play a part as they continue in this game. But, wow, they're an impressive team.
There's Paige Nichols again. Said her name a lot. See if that defensive move leads to offense as Olivia Welch, 15 goals on the year, sprints down the left flank. That one winds up in the shade over there. Got to pay extra for those seats under that big tree in the corner.
Certainly. In soccer, there's so many different, just like in any sport, you look at athleticism, you look at height, you look at speed. What I see with this Norwalk team, my goodness, it's a volleyball team out there. They are all tall and quick, and this Lewis team is strong and mighty. So you have two very different teams here, and they're both competing at a high level with each other right now. I know it was an early goal, but since then it's been consistent back and forth.
Sophomore Bella Moody checking in for Norwalk. That's a substitution brought to you by IMT Insurance. Trying to get out of that far corridor. Pass by Anna Whitney. The senior winds up out of bounds. Norwalk gets it back here. It certainly feels like the Warriors do a really good job of cordoning off Lewis Central when they get moving. It's been miles of every minute. It's been hard to get through some of the defensive structure of Norwalk, at least at midfield. I know you've talked a lot about the defensive play. Nichols and Sandoff back there. Shouldn't leave shy talking about Tatum Miller outside on the line there on the right-hand side. Over on the far side, number 18, Gabrielle Dryman as well. Gabrielle Dryman, pardon me. They've done a nice job of really keeping this Titans team hemmed in for the most part.
Yeah, again, these midfielders, when you're a midfielder, you're having to play both defense and offense, and they are fast and they are strong. You just saw it right there with that play in the middle of the field, and they can move the ball forward in long strides. And there's an example of that. That's your outside right midfielder. So this midfield on both sides doing a great job of playing all the positions in which they're required to play. which is why you're seeing such a back and forth. But man, there is nothing more frustrating than a team just kicking the ball out and you just slowly work your way down the field through throw-ins.
But it can be effective, can it?
Absolutely. And then, when the ref isn't looking, you take 3 more steps forward. That always bothered me.
There's a chance and a goal. Norwalk's got another one. It's a 2-0 lead thanks to Olivia Welch. Great speed and a delightful finish.
Olivia was on a mission there. She passed it to herself, beat the defender, and then found an open spot right there where the goalie wasn't and couldn't get to. It was a great finish. Mid-net, hard finish.
And came off of a Titans throw-in, no less. That was a full possession turnover.
Right after I was complaining about those throw-ins. She won't complain about that one.
So an early hole for the Titans here, trying to claw their way back, but Norwalk has had a mission since the onset. They scored just a couple of minutes into the contest. They've got another one and shouldn't be surprised to see on the board 20 and 6. Wood and Welch, their 2 leading scorers, leading the way here in the 2A quarterfinals.
Something else I've really noticed about this game is how low they're playing the ball. There isn't a lot of balls being way up in the air, lofted. I've seen 1 or 2 headers, 1 or 2 chests. They keep the ball low, and they've been successful. Both teams have been successful in doing that.
Nice hustle to get back there by Finley Vogt, the freshman. That was looking potentially lethal for Norwalk. They had bodies ahead. There's a collision on the far side that sends Ella Seeley spilling down to the turf. Great pace on the far side by Addie Wood. She'll fire it in. Great spin move. Oh, and a huge save. That would have been number 2 for Welch. But coming out to stop the bleeding, Haley Purcell with a whopper of a stop. Another try, and there's another save from Purcell, trying to keep her teammates in this one. 2 golden chances for the Warriors, though, who are trying to pour it on.
Great save by Purcell. She lifts that right arm to hit it over the goal, and then quickly turns to her teammates and shows her frustration with their defending. Sometimes goalies just need to straight up tell their team, I need you to be better, and that usually livens girls up and gets them ready.
Head coach of the Titans, Jesse Smith, in 5th year with the Titans, looking to make a couple of substitutions here that will include bringing back in their leading scorer, Zoe Overall. Titans team that needs to try to cut into this 2-goal lead for the Warriors, as we'll get those substitutions now, brought to you by IMT Insurance. Head to imtins.com to learn how you can be worry-free with IMT.
I bet both coaches and a lot of the players were unhappy with that corner kick because it got through about 10 different gals, and the corner kick, if it's on the ground, should not get further than the 18, which it did in that case. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a conversation during halftime about how can we tighten that up.
Should note, too, that corner kicks at this tournament, sponsored by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com. Back line of Norwalk on it again as they were able to draw the offside whistle, as Stella Robichaud had all kinds of green in front of her there, but for the second time, the back line for the Warriors were in sync.
Yeah, you can see Stella Robichaud's frustration. She just wants to get the ball and she wants to be able to move it forward, but those offside calls keep coming in. I'm guessing she'll have her chance here pretty soon. She just needs to be patient.
That one will stay with the Warriors after it went up off the arm of the freshman Vogt.
You got to have that classic Iowa reaction of, oh, when you see a handball.
Better there than closer to your net, of course. This one will get swung in by Tatum Miller. Intervening top of the box was Riley Russo.
I just could not get over these outside mids for Norwalk, both right and left. They are fast, they are strong, they do not give up. They are outpacing their defenders. They are good outside midfielders that are playing their positions well and getting a free kick because of it.
It's Elena O'Connor And Bella Moody actually subbed in a bit ago for Pearl Brown, who assisted on the opening goal for Norwalk. Brown also taller than the rest of the field as well. When you have that kind of size matched with the speed that we've seen from all three, you're right, partner. That's a dangerous trio to have, and not to mention, you're rotating one in and out for the other, so at any given time, you're going to have a fresh outside midfielder, it looks like, too. As speaking of Pearl, it looks like she's about ready to check back in here. And it looks like we're going to take another water break. So, what has changed from our first water break to our second? Well, the Warriors have added another goal. Olivia Welch, a beautiful finish, and a 2-0 Warriors lead here on opening day of the state soccer tournament for the girls here in Ames. We're back with more of the Warriors and the Titans next.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Well, a shade under 20 minutes to go here in the first half as we continue our coverage of the Girls State Soccer Tournament here in Ames on the IGHSAU Digital Network powered by MidAmerican. Ben Gislason alongside former Valley Tiger, two-time state champion, Natalie Gislason. And it is a 2-0 Warriors lead here over the Titans. Lewis Central looking for a way back into this game. And Natalie, let's maybe start with this. What hasn't Lewis Central been able to do, aside from score, of course, that you want to see more of that might lead to generating some more chances?
I think it's what we said at the very beginning. It's a possession game. They have not been able to put a handful of passes together to gain them some confidence to get forward on the field. They keep getting stopped by the midfield, and if they happen to get past the midfield, then we keep talking about that defensive line of their flat four on Norwalk. So they need to maybe put some passes together on the defensive end for themselves to gain that confidence and slowly move it forward. I would say more in the middle, because you're seeing some really good outside mids for Norwalk on the outside. So maybe try to work a little bit more on the outside middle, like right outside the main circle, and go through that pathway. We haven't explored the central midfield nearly as much as we should.
A lot of exploration so far today has been done by Zoe Overall, the junior. She has had almost entirely the possession for this Lewis Central team. She had it over there on the far wing, ended up fouling Paige Nichols, who Nichols has been following Overall around like a shadow.
Yeah, you can see the frustration with Lewis Central coming out and how they're playing. Like I said, they are a mighty and strong team, and that's being shown here. But they just need to have some patience. The refs are calling hits. They need to recognize that and just adjust their game slightly, because they deserve to be here so they can play this game. And they've played this opponent before and have only lost by 1-0. So take a breath, remember their strengths, and move that ball forward, whether it be in throw-ins like this.
Lewis Central, a team that certainly has shown their quality. They talked about just the 1-goal loss earlier this season to Norwalk. Also, same scoreline to the Titan Valley Tigers, who are one of the top teams in all of the state. They lost 1-0 at the end of April to Valley. So this isn't a Titans team that is at all scared of anybody that they're taking on here. I would imagine they probably came into the tournament thinking, we were one shot away from Norwalk. We'll take this matchup against the Warriors, and still some time left, but the hope for sure right now for Lewis Central would be just to start to gain some possession on their attacking half of the field, which they're doing right now, trying to break down what's been a very rugged and stingy back four for the Warriors so far here in the open of this quarterfinal.
Just because you come from a school where there's a lot more students does not mean that you are a better soccer team. So if you look at this Lewis Central Titans team, again, they have multiple top scorers and top assists in the state of Iowa. That's including all three classes. And I believe we have one or two college commits. So you don't count teams out just because of the number before their division or before their conference.
Ireland White, who, as we talked about, is not playing, but she's committed to Nebraska Omaha to play for college soccer there. Still 1 year left, though, for White as a junior, so that's the good news. She will potentially get a second chance at the fabled grounds here in Ames at a state championship next year, and then also senior Kayla Allen headed to Bemidji State to play for the Beavers.
And you know a lot more about Bemidji being from Minnesota, but UNO was a great school when I was playing. They were D2. That was, again, 15, 20 years ago. Not sure if they still are. Heck, they may be up to D1, but just a great women's soccer program there when I was around. I'm sure it continues to be.
There's a corner kick, and nicely read by Haley Purcell, who has been a pretty quietly confident goaltender despite getting beat twice in this game. She has come up with a number of other big plays. She read that corner kick awfully well. That corner kick, as all corner kicks are at this tournament, brought to you by Channel C's.
Two things I loved about that corner kick. One, she's a right-footed player and bent that ball in. And that's what you're supposed to do as a right-footed player. You get that ball up in the air so you can have a head off of it, or just a bunch of people breaking the net. And then the second thing I loved was the goalie. She took advantage. When you're a goalie on a corner kick, it is your box and it is no one else's box. So you get in front of that ball, you yell, and that's exactly what she did. It invokes confidence in the rest of her team and her defenders as well.
A moment or two ago there, nifty moves again from Pearl Brown, who assisted on the opening tally, and she almost connected with Aubrey Holcomb creeping in on the far post there. That one ended up skittering away, though, from Holcomb. Otherwise, this would have been a 3-0 game. Getting set to come back in is Addie Wood, who's got one of the two goals. Norwalk possessing it with Tatum Miller. A nice pass to the far side for Avery Dryman. Dryman cuts back and sifts one through. That one's met and cleared confidently by one of two captains for the Titans. That's Riley Russo. Norwalk gets it back quickly. Nicely intercepted, though, by Lucy Edwards. Edwards, though, needs some support here. She'll get it. Ahead it comes from Ava Baker Jr. Again, Sandoff, her and Nichols have been nearly impregnable back there on the far side. They've just been outstanding as Nichols has got another one cut away here.
You can see Zoe chasing after that ball. That's a good forward right there. It's never safe until they've picked it up or they've cleared it. So as a forward, you chase after the ball and you make the goalie uneasy. But again, she's an outstanding player, so we wouldn't expect anything less. You can see the frustration of Robichaud and overall. They want to connect on passes. They tried to about 30 seconds ago, And it's hard when you got just those 2 versus 4. Something that Lewis Central could do better is being a cohesive unit, moving that 120 or 110 yards back and forth as a group versus 3 different lines. That's what's getting them in trouble right now.
Yeah, you saw it here on the left flank with Edwards moments ago. She had to cut back 2-3 times before she got that support line and Ava Baker Jr. to step up and find a release valve. You look at the way Norwalk has attacked, and there's frequently 2 to 3 players within striking distance of the ball to give the Warriors options as they attack. This one's flown high into the air. Baker Jr. finding Robichaud ahead, but the Warriors get it back, and this one will come out towards the top of the box. Again, a good read from Purcell to come out and cut that away.
That's a goalie being a good goalie right there, making sure she has her box covered and more with it coming out that far.
That's a nice pass ahead. Numbers to the net. Speeding in on the left-hand side. Here's Welch. She'll look to shoot, and she scores. A brace for Olivia Welch, and it's a 3-goal game. The Warriors opening it up.
For Norwalk, number 6, Olivia Welch.
Well, I didn't catch who made the pass from midfield, but that was a dime. Perfectly placed. The weight of it was wonderful for Welch to run into.
And just good ball control on the goal. She moved past 3 defenders there, and then it was her and the goalie, and she felt confident. I believe that was Ava Wagner. Looking at the net, seeing where the goalie wasn't. The goalie's coming to her from the left, so she goes right. Something I worry about with this Lewis Central team, and this happens with teams who have standout players, is they feel that they can rely just on those 1 or 2 players, and they need to recognize that it's a team sport, and they have to get the ball forward to those players to be able to do what they do best. So I'm guessing at halftime, the coach will help them recalibrate and remember and remind them that they need to move as a unit and connect passes to get it forward. Great move there. Pulls that back. The forwards on Lewis Central are also going too far forward. They need to be able to come back to receive that ball. They're hanging out on the defense line, and they need to move forward towards their team, or backwards towards their team to collect the ball.
So the Titans down 3, trying to sort out the right melody to get in rhythm here and get back in this game. 11:45 remains here in the first half. They'll have 40 more minutes in the second half to try to rectify this. That one comes out of play. Not too far away from the press gantry here. One comes in here, I know you'd be able to stop it. I would duck out of the way.
I would duck to watch you try and stop it.
No thanks. The hands would be coming out for me, for sure. I wonder if instinctually, if you'd keep your hands behind you and probably use a shoulder or a hip or... Now Pearl Brown, who has been a standout in this game. Galloping ahead, swerves one to the far side. That is right on the money. Avery Dryman, and that one's over the net.
That's such a great pass by Pearl Brown. She sees where the defenders are. She sees where her midfielder's running. She had 2 on her right, 1 on her left. She saw the gap. She split the defenders because she knew that her teammate could outpace and got a shot off. And a shot of which the goalie had to make a save. So great work. Keep shooting. Keep seeing those passes. She's got good eyes.
Pair of IMT Insurance substitutions for both sides. Ella Seeley, senior, coming back in for Norwalk here, as is the sophomore Cassie Williams for Lewis Central. Ella Seeley, an 18-game starter for this Norwalk team. And at that, we will take our final mandatory water break here of the first half. And every time we get to one of these, the Warriors have tacked on another one. Olivia Welch has 2, and the Warriors lead 3 here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mediacom.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people. who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need.
Yeah! Fairway, it's the one you need.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit
Closing 10 minutes here of the first half on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American. Natalie Gislason to my left. I'm Ben Gislason. It's great to have you all with us here this afternoon. Great to be working with Sam Nord and Justin Wolber, producing our show here this afternoon. In the final 10 minutes of this first half, a 3-0 Warriors lead. And comebacks, they're rarely a flood, especially in soccer. It's more like a trickle. And that's exactly what this Titans team is trying to do right now, is just start to plant a little bit of a seed of doubt in Norwalk's mind, saying, hey, the second half is going to look a lot different than the first has looked.
I think what's interesting about this heat is we're having these water breaks, so I wonder if these coaches are saying anything to these girls during those water breaks. You know, a combination of keep it up, you're doing great, and then doing some coaching as well of how could you be better. Because maybe the coach in Lewis Central is saying just that. Let's get some more cohesion. Let's make them not think that they've got this big of a lead and that they can keep it.
Anna Whitney coming in for the Titans. Elena O'Connor, one of the midfielders we've highlighted here this afternoon for Norwalk, checking back in. That brings another IMT insurance substitution. Head to IMTINS.com. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT. Here is the aforementioned O'Connor. Excellent move. Speeding her way down the flank. Took some body there. Stepping over was Riley Russo. All reports I've heard about your game, Natalie, said that that was something you did awfully well, the more physical side of soccer.
Yep. Can't say more than that.
No comment?
We got cards to show for it. No, soccer's a physical game, though, so long as you are playing with the right intent, you're playing clean. It's a physical game. I used to go at all the football players in high school because I said, you guys have pads. We don't. Same with you hockey players. I know this is trivial, but it's fun to see pink and purple kits. I liked my all-orange kit in high school, but pink and purple is pretty fun.
Certainly fits in nicely with the pink-laden grounds, the Girls High School Athletic Union. My first soccer tournament, I've been a part of the broadcast for the state softball tournament up in Fort Dodge for, I believe this will be my 5th season going up there now. And again, being a transplant to Iowa, didn't know anything about how tournaments were run down here, and I was just blown away by the level of professionalism that the IGHSAU operates with. And I know we were walking in, Natalie, and I asked, has this been how it's always been? And your answer was yes, even back to when you were playing in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, I mean, I even remember the commissioner of the girls tournament and the whole girls conference for all the sports, and he was terrific. Girls sports has always been important in Iowa. I believe Iowa had one of the first basketball female programs in the country. So we care about women, we care about sports, and we want to make sure that women have the opportunity to play in these sports, and you see some exceptional athletes come out of this state, and we're watching some of them.
Well, certainly one of the hallmark events of the summer here in Ames, and the tournament down at Casey Center, the basketball tournament, another tremendous tournament to attend. I've never been a part of the broadcast there. Unfortunately, I'm a little occupied with Iowa Wild Hockey at that time of the year, but we do operate in that building, so I do walk through there, and I've been in the building for some of those games, and the fanfare, the fan activation that you see, how involved the fans are. You walk in and it's a big deal, and it should be a big deal, and that's all a testament to the administration, to the volunteers, to the people that put a ton of time and tireless hours into setting all this up. You're walking in here at Lead Fields, and you're seeing the food trucks and the vendors and the AC unit. They got the beautiful setup over there if you get a little bit hot, as that one's an easy claim by the goalkeeper, Katie Litke.
And the fans, the friends, the parents, the schools, they've always been so supportive of athletics in the state of Iowa, which is why I've always said to you Minnesotans that Iowa is the best state. We continue to be.
She keeps working on me about that one every day. There's a long shot, and that one sneaks over the arms of Haley Purcell. And I believe that's number 3 for Olivia Welch. And it's going to be a hat trick performance here in the first half for number 20.
Apologies for speaking over you there.
That was Addie Wood's second. Olivia Welch is number 6. They both got 2. No hat tricks yet.
Wow. I spoke over you there, Ben, and I know that's the first rule not to do as an analyst for play-by-play, but that was an exceptional shot. From the left side, there's a left foot kicker in the top right corner, upper 90 as we call that. That was a beautiful finish. And again, you feel bad for Lewis Central because they just had an opportunity right before that. And I know Norwalk's keeper made it look easy, but they had a great cross right in front of the goal 10-15 seconds before they were starting to get their momentum back. And then just like that, Norwalk turns around and takes it away from them.
It's a great point. As much as we were waxing on poetically, well-deservingly, about the IGHSAU, Lewis Central was able to generate a little bit of what we were talking about, getting some of that possession time, getting some momentum carved out into their side of the field. And even though it was a bit of a cherry-picking job at the net by the goalkeeper Litke, it still did put some pressure on, and that's what the Titans are doing again here with the overall. She'll put it towards the net, and Litke is able to trap that one before it could get past her or find a streaking Dallas Thompson down the back post.
Overall is frustrated and hungry, and I feel like there's something that's going to happen second half here with her. She wants it, and she's going hard after it, and she's recognizing that she needs to come back more to collect that ball like she's doing right there and go forward with the goal. So I definitely have hope that Lewis Central will be here to play for the second half, even though it's a 4-0 lead.
Well, you can only take one chunk out of the elephant at a time, right? You're not going to score all 4 in one shot. And it starts with creating chances, which this Titans team has done over the last 5 minutes here, despite giving up that beautiful goal to Wood. That's the lone chance that Norwalk has had since we came back from that last mandatory water break right at the 10-minute mark. And we're just under 5 to go now here in the first half. A 4-0 Norwalk lead. Number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed. And right now the seeds are showing with this strong lead that the number 1 Warriors have collected here in the opening 35 minutes. Elena O'Connor. That one's knocked out on the near side by Riley Russo.
So leading up to that free kick, you saw Lewis Central try to collect some passes together. The most they got was 2 before that foul, and then before that was just 1. So that is the key comment I think the coach will make is cohesion and passes. Let's get some passes together to get our confidence back.
Well, and to your point earlier, that cohesion, it's not just about who has the ball. In fact, oftentimes it's the least about who has the ball. As a cross comes in just over the head of Avery Dryman. Lewis Central will be looking for that support as Welch had a look there at the header. That one went awry. And luckily for the Titans, because there wasn't anybody within 6 feet of Welch, standing almost at the penalty stripe there all alone.
What you were saying there earlier, Ben, that is what soccer is all about. There was a great one-page piece written before the 2006 World Cup that I've always kept. It talks about the beautiful game of soccer, and it's all about the movement of the players that aren't on the ball. How are they moving? What are they doing to prepare to get that ball? And that it's all one big combination of art and science, and that's what these gals are trying to figure out that aren't having the ball. How can I help the person who does?
Dogged pursuit, then a long try. That one didn't miss by much. Boy, Bella Moody was feeling a little long try there, and she almost snuck it in.
Keeping that goalkeeper on her toes. That's what you have to do with goalies.
You could tell she thought that one might have been going in. She keeled over looking down thinking, I didn't miss by much there. And again, you're just looking at the height of these players too. Moody, one of them as well.
Yeah.
And between Brown, Moody, and O'Connor.
They're a head taller than their
they
competitors.
Are.
But they're strong also. That's what makes them great players.
Right now, overall, 4 purple uniforms surrounding her. That's been pretty much her afternoon. They have smothered the skilled number 8 out of the game for the most part. There have been a few flashes of brilliance from overall, who scored 25 times in 20 games during the regular season.
Yeah, that happens. That happens when you have a standout or when other players are injured, which is exactly what's happening here with Lewis Central with Ireland White. She would have the same issue, but when you have 1 or 2 outstanding players, you're always going to have 3 or 4 on them if you are a thoughtful team, of which Norwalk certainly is. Which is why they can't do anything.
And overall trying to find some chemistry with Dallas Thompson, the sophomore. Those are the 2 front players here for this Lewis Central team. Tracking this down on the near side is the sophomore Tatum Miller.
Such a great play by Tatum. She had a gal coming on her and she didn't freak out and kick that ball. She kept her composure, she took a spot, and she actually hit it off the opposite team so that she could get a throw in. I mean, that is good soccer.
Here's Pearl Brown again. O'Connor dribbling down the wing, tried to sift it in, sniffed out by Purcell, the goalkeeper here with 30 seconds to go in the half.
I've noticed with these goal kicks, Lewis Central does such a great job of, right, in basketball we call that boxing out and getting that ball and collecting it, but then they don't move forward with it, and immediately a Norwalk defender just scoops around him and grabs that ball. So that's something else that, again, they're doing something really well. They just need to finish that play to move it forward.
And with that, the opening 40 minutes of this opening 2A quarterfinal comes to a close. The second half looming large for this Lewis Central Titans team. Norwalk, a commanding opening 40 minutes, partner.
Yeah, I mean, Norwalk, wow, 4 goals in 40 minutes. Lewis Central, you don't want to see another half like that, but we have 10 minutes here for them to collect their thoughts and regroup, and they certainly can. I know it's 4-0, but it's a 40-minute half. You still have lots of time to get back. Get your composure together, get some more confidence together, and they can do something here. Norwalk should not be more, I mean, they have just done an excellent job. So Norwalk can continue, just keep on keeping on, is what I would say as their coach.
Well, we'll take some time to regroup as well here, collect our thoughts, and we'll be back for the second half here in just a bit. Norwalk leading Lewis Central by a 4-goal margin. Here headed to the second half on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Wheels are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need.
Yeah! Fairway, it's the one you need.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/wecare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Life's buzzing with energy. From the delightfully routine, to the novel and exciting, to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
We hope you're enjoying all the great competition you're seeing here today. At the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we're grateful for the incredible support that makes this event possible. None more vital or valued than the proud title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau. With me here today is Brent Johnson, president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, to explain why their organization invests in and supports the Girls Union.
Thanks, Erin. The Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for more than 2 decades now. The athletes competing here today represent the very best of our nation's student athletes, driven, dedicated, and committed to teamwork. At the Iowa Farm Bureau, we share those same values. Our farmers lead the nation not only in the production of corn, hogs, eggs, and ethanol, but also in the implementation of a number of innovative soil and water conservation practices which hold soil in place and reduce runoff. These shared values unite Iowa's student athletes and farm families, and our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the perfect opportunity to celebrate that commitment to excellence statewide.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate the Iowa Farm Bureau's ongoing support and the role you play in helping Iowa's girls shine.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Oh.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Lewis Central hoping for a hard-charging second half here at the open of the 2A quarterfinals here at Lead Fields in Ames, Iowa on the IGHSAU digital network powered by Mid-American. Norwalk a commanding 4-0 lead as we welcome you back to our coverage here this afternoon. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason, and the rest of our broadcast team providing coverage of the 2A, 1A, and 3A tournament here in Ames. And as both teams come back from a very different feeling first half, obviously Norwalk, tons of confidence. Everything they've done, everything that they had in their game plan has gone perfectly. Lewis Central, obviously the exact opposite of that. Messages that you might hear if you're in either camp. Natalie, what do you think both coaches had to say to their girls coming into this second half?
With Norwalk, I think that there was a lot of praise on the front end. And as expected and as should have been, right? Hey, girls, you're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. But don't get comfortable. You still have 40 minutes, and obviously someone can score 4 goals in a half because you just did it. So the focus is keep on keeping on, but don't get lazy, don't get comfortable, don't get complacent. With Lewis Central, I would just, I keep using the word cohesion because I think that's exactly what it is. You guys are a good team. You're a strong team. You have a stiff competitor here, but remember the game that you play and stay focused as 3 lines into one group and move forward. I'd love to see some outward movement from the center mids, seeing their corners, so that you have the outside mids and the forwards being able to run off their defenders. So I think it'll be focused on an offensive game and a cohesive game.
Has there been one part of Norwalk's game that has been most impressive to you?
I just cannot get over how tall and strong these gals are. I don't remember my teammates being taller than me, and they all seem like they're 6 feet tall. I'm just blown away by the athleticism for a 16, 17, 18-year-old girl. And they're fast. They're very fast. They're able to keep their composure and not get worried when the ball comes their way. So I would say athleticism, speed, and composure.
Big thanks to Iowa Farm Bureau. They are the sole title sponsor of the IGHSAU and the presenting sponsor of the state soccer tournament. Great to have all of you with us here this afternoon as we get set to cast off into the second half. And the Titans will look for a titanic second half, trying to bring themselves back to level. It'll take quite a push. But there were some signs, Natalie, at the end of that first half that did show that this Lewis Central team can crack what looked like a tremendous back line of Norwalk, and we'll see if the Titans can try to turn up the heat a little bit and carry some momentum that they gathered at the end of that first half here into the second.
Like I said, Norwalk can't get complacent because all of a sudden the second they did, overall, almost had a scoring opportunity, and the goalie was there, but she had an opportunity, and that hasn't been the case. So long as they stay on their players and they stay alert, Norwalk can keep this lead.
The senior Ella Seelig flings one to the middle of the attacking half here for Norwalk, collected by Avery Dryman. Now Tatum Miller. I do owe some apologies. I got my Bemidji State commits incorrect in the first half. Want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. Tatum Miller is committed to Bemidji State.
Shouldn't leave a great state like Iowa, but we're happy to see her go play college soccer.
I was just thinking the season has to be incredibly short in Bemidji because the weather up there, even still this time of year, can be pretty frigid.
That's why it's always so impressive when Midwestern teams, both high school and college, are nationally ranked, because our teammates in California and Florida get to play year-round, but there have been high school teams and collegiate teams here in the state of Iowa that have been nationally ranked at high ranks, even though we have winter half the time.
And tell me about training during the winter months, because to your point, if you're in California or Florida or even Texas, really anything on the south side of the country, you're doing it outdoors the whole time. I'd imagine here it's got to look a lot different when you're training in the off-season months of soccer.
Oh yeah, you live in high school and elementary school gyms, and there's so much running and so many wall sits. But I think what's great about that is if you have a good coach, then you do come out very well conditioned going into spring soccer. A lot of these girls, right, depending on division and just where they're at in the state, play club, maybe even some play ODP, and so they are playing year round. We would play indoor soccer. It's futsal. It's a different game. It's much quicker. It's on a concrete floor. It's a harder ball, a smaller ball, so you are sprinting after a ball in a hockey-sized sheet of concrete, and that's how you stay in shape. And it works. That's the one thing I said to you when we were walking out. I said, man, I wish I could be in shape like I was in high school.
I think a lot of people probably would say that. Athletes or not, probably would love to get their wind back like the days they had it and during the high school years. Can you remember what your longest wall sit was? Or maybe your teammate's longest was
asking me that
wall
because
sit.
you just did a wall sit contest recently?
Oh, I did, but it was about 15 seconds and I abandoned ship.
No, I can't remember, but I will never forget one of our first or second practices, and we had to practice Indian Hills Junior High in the gym, and I could not walk the next morning out of bed. And I mean, we were fit. We had just played club soccer all fall, and then we were going into winter season, and I could not get out of bed. I've never had that before, and I've never had that since, and that was one of my most athletic times of life. But we did wall sits after wall sits, and then we did sprints, and then we did hills, which I don't even remember how we did that indoors, but wow, that I will never forget that soccer practice.
One of those mornings where you get out of bed and you step down and you wind up on the floor.
Yeah. Another funny story is when I was in club, my high school coach in club, so this isn't Chappie, his girlfriend broke up with him and he made us do sprints the whole practice. That was a rough practice. None of us will forget that one either. Don't let love get in the way of soccer.
No, you never want to get on the wrong side of a coach, and that time it wasn't even your fault that you were on the wrong side of the coach.
What's impressive about these girls is they just played high school, this whole high school season. Now they're going into the state tournament. Some of them that are club, they'll go into two-a-days. They'll have maybe a few days off, and then they'll go into two-a-days, and they'll prepare for regionals, for club if they're state champions, or they'll just start playing soccer or summer soccer. So, you know, with soccer, we play every season here in Iowa.
And the club teams are collections from across the state for the most part. Are they more regional? And how do those get broken up?
I think it just depends, and it looks a little bit different now than it did when I was around. But I played for West Des Moines Club, and there was an Ankeny club. Now I think there's Rush in Ankeny, and it is regional. But by the time we were seniors, we had the best girls in the state playing on our team. So we'd have girls come in 2 to 3 times a week for practice from Cedar Rapids. Just as you continue to get further in your game, then the teams get smaller. But it is mostly regional with a lot of the big clubs here in the metro area.
Corner kick on the way, skips towards the net. Purcell was ready for it. That corner kick brought to you by Channel Seats.
Again, another great corner kick. You want that winding motion to get everyone to fill the box. You just need to get a head or a foot on those corner kicks, because those are really great opportunities to get a goal.
Number 14, Stella Robichaud. If there is a way back for this Lewis Central team, have to imagine Robichaud will be a part of it. 19-game starter as a freshman. Someone that obviously head coach Jesse Smith is thrilled to have playing the kind of minutes that she's playing.
I like this Gabrielle Dryman defender here. She had the opportunity to step forward when the refs weren't looking there, and she stepped back. That's a good honest
respect the
player.
Game. That one rolls into the corner. I think it might have just come up shy, or actually might have gone out for a corner kick here. Hard to tell from our angle here.
That's a throw-in. I'm not seeing the flag on the corner. Yep.
So it is just a throw-in. Titans will try to work it out of the broom closet here in that right-hand corner. There's a terrific move made by Olivia Katzer. It goes awry and ends up going outside of play, and we'll have another throw-in coming here from Lainey Duff.
That's something else I've noticed about this game. There isn't a lot of moves or finesse, but it's still a great game. I mean, the Norwalk players especially are moving that ball very well as a team, but they're, you aren't seeing Maridanas or Coyce or any of these moves that we all practice for hours and hours and hours. So it's an impressive team.
There's a look on goal from Jalen Kilbane after Cassie Williams took a long venture, ended up hitting her teammate in overall on its way to the net. Kilbane got a slide in there trying to best the goalkeeper Litke. Started 18 games for Norwalk. Wearing the captain armband. This one might come in here, Natalie. Oh, nope.
Again,
official helped us out there. Didn't get to see your skills.
Again, we see Lewis Central with that strength, right? You have a much smaller, younger gal just hitting that tall gal off the ball. That is just pure strength and good collection of the ball.
This could be a look. Cruising in is Robichaud. Did that go in? No, it's kept off the goal line. A big stop from Litke as Robichaud was able to gallop her way in with some daylight. Best chance of the game by far for the Titans, but Litke comes up large.
And Robichaud's just a freshman. Robichaud's just a freshman. She's got 3 years of this. I mean, what a great play by someone who's so young, and way to follow through on that ball. That is probably their best chance so far. And see, they're going hard. They know that they can come back from this.
Well, when you are staring the end of your state tournament pursuit in the face, desperation can step up as Overall makes a great move, but she sails it over the net. Nonetheless, 2 straight glorious chances here for the Lewis Central Titans. They're knocking on the door.
Man, Lewis Central right there, they connected 4 or 5 passes right there in the middle. That's, again, good team cohesion. They are feeling this and then had another opportunity. Those are 2 opportunities within a minute. They didn't have, I don't think, 2 opportunities in the first half.
Olivia Katzer knocking one down. It was the 2 starring role players up front. And Robichaud and Overall, who got the chances. We've seen the stars for Norwalk deliver in this game. They're responsible for both goals. Both of the top scorers, Wood and Welch, have a pair in this 4-0 Norwalk lead here in the second half, but Lewis Central is starting to find its game a little bit. they're finding a few cracks in what was an otherwise perfectly sturdy defense in that first half by the Warriors.
I think Lewis Central needs to be mindful of these refs. They are truly calling everything. I mean, that was ball-on-ball contact. That was certainly fine, and they called that. So because they are a strong and hungry team, they just need to be aware that calls may come.
And with that, we'll take our first water break here of the second half. Time slowly starting to become a factor for the trailing Titans, but Lewis Central starting to generate some opportunities. Can they cut into this lead? We'll find out when we come back here in Ames on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Norwalk Warriors still holding a 4-0 lead here on the Lewis Central Titans as we open the 2A quarterfinals here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American. Ben Gislason with Natalie Gislason here as Lewis Central starts with a goal kick that winds up going a little awry there on the goalkeeper Purcell. Turns the ball over to Norwalk. Norwalk making its 12th state tournament appearance, while Lewis Central is here for the 11th time. There was a window in time where this Lewis Central team was the power of 2A, 2016, 17, and 18 champions of this tournament. But they are in jeopardy of seeing their hopes of adding another trophy to the high school's trophy cabinet dashed short here in the quarterfinals. But before that mandatory water break, certainly the best we've seen this Lewis Central team connect, leading to a couple of terrific scoring chances before we went to the break.
Two great opportunities during that first 10 minutes, and you can already see at the beginning of this game the hustle from Lewis Central. They are not giving up. They are still here to play, and they've got 30 minutes to do so. And you can score a lot of goals there. And just the talk, you can hear the talk. Yep, you can hear the talk from Lewis Central, from their sweeper and their stopper.
Yeah, it's Kayla Allen. No surprise to see a senior vocal here in a big game like this.
And a captain. Being a captain.
Elena O'Connor now finding Taylor Schreiber, the junior. Ahead, O'Connor comes again, finds Pearl Brown into Welch. Again, 2 goals on the day. That's a simple one, though, as it rolls in on Purcell.
We've said it before, but we'll say it again. The center of the Norwalk team, the core, is outstanding, and their defensive line is outstanding. Obviously, their forwards are great too. They've scored 4 goals, but I've been really impressed by their center 3 and their back 4, and their movement amongst each other and moving the ball forward via the sides.
To your point earlier too, we talked about it a ton in the first half, and it's what Norwalk was able to do so well that now we've seen a small window here that Lewis Central has been able to capitalize on some good ball movement and some good cohesion. Norwalk moves fluidly throughout the field together, and it took a little bit for Lewis Central to find that. We're seeing it now right in front of our eyes here. Some good connection there between Katzer and Robichaud.
Exactly, and that right there is just a traditional, always good soccer play. You move it in the center, let your center mids move the ball forward, they pass it outside, and you see your outside mids run side.
Couple substitutions coming in here. Lucy Edwards and Anna Whitney for Lewis Central. Those substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance.
And again, you can see Lewis Central and their urgency. They throw that ball in even before the subs are fully in, and they want to get going.
And you've seen such urgency, especially here in the second half from the freshman Robichaud. And one thing you'll hear players talk about, whether it's at the college level, at the high school level, when you get to a tournament like this, just because you're a freshman, you can't count on ever getting back. So you have an opportunity to be here. You need to take advantage of this, because even though you say, I've got 3 more years of trying to get back to this tournament, you don't know what the future holds, and you might never get back to this tournament. This might be your only chance, even though you're a 15-year-old thinking you have the whole world ahead of you.
You don't know. You don't know what your team is going to look like. You also do know the seniors that are leaving your team and the juniors that are leaving your team, and some of those are, oftentimes your best players, and you don't necessarily know who's in 7th grade and if they're going to pan out when they're 16. So you take any opportunity you can when you're at state or any opportunity during the season to play your best game and recognize that this might be the biggest opportunity. So take advantage of it.
Great to have the insight here of 2-time state champion with the Valley Tigers. Was then known as Natalie Pearson, if anybody has paid attention back. What was the years you took home a state title, Nat?
07 and 08.
Another player you always talk about from those years was Whitney Sharp, someone who I think a lot of soccer fans would know very well.
Yeah, a good friend and an exceptional soccer player. I mean, I believe she is coaching one of the clubs now. I think it's Whitney Lewis. She got married. Again, this was 20 years ago, but she was a dear friend in high school and just an unbelievable soccer player. Started as a freshman at UCLA, played professionally for the Netherlands, and even better, was just a really good person. Always looked after me. We got in trouble. She was great. And a great family.
And yourself a Gatorade Player of the Year nominee in Iowa as well, so not too shabby.
And she was a Gatorade Player of the Year.
And she won it.
Absolutely. She was a year older, and no one could compete against that.
Trouble here as Norwalk looks to pad their lead. 1 save, and then trying for her 3rd was Addie Wood, but that was a little friendly fire off of Welch. Those two will have a little chuckle about that and make their way back to midfield. That was a terrific opportunity for Avery Dryman, who was looking to officially put the final exclamation point on this game, but still there might be just a trickle of hope left for Lewis Central, but they need to find the back of the net here sooner than later. 23 minutes remaining in this 2A quarterfinal. Good moves on the far side by Finley Vogt. A long try that will go gingerly into the hands of the keeper, Litke. Letting it fly from a ways out was Baker Jr.
Yeah, just unlucky there in the box for Norwalk. Hits her own player in the hand, gets a handball. And then 10 seconds later on the opposite side of the field. So again, the game is not over yet. I know there's 25 minutes, but there's still 25 minutes. That's a long time. Great pass.
That is a great pass indeed. Good strength again for Dryman, and another fantastic save from Purcell. Full extension. She comes up with another one as it was curled in by Addie Wood. Well, a 4-0 game, you don't think you'd be talking about the goaltender's performance as much as we are, but boy, Haley Purcell has had some magnificent moments in between the pipes here today.
Outstanding, especially in the last 5 minutes. My goodness, that Norwalk will not get up. And Addie Wood, that was a beautiful left curve shot up into the right side, and the goalie was there to stop it. So great work by Purcell.
Corner kick, courtesy of Channel Seeds, comes in for Norwalk. They were looking for Schreiber. Instead, it lands on Dryman's boot. She launches one. There's a rebound. Is it offside? I believe it is.
That first shot, that gal deserves so much credit. That was such a great shot. She had 3 girls in front of her, and she cut. She saw all 3 and cut and split and found an open spot in the goal. So great first shot and a great rebound. Just unfortunately offsides. And again, Purcell just killing it.
Good. Yes.
Trying to muscle ahead. Dallas Thompson in the way. The long arm of the law has been Paige Nichols all afternoon long.
Yes, Dallas.
Incredibly strong performance from 23 in purple, and the rest of her mates on that back line. Dryman, who's had a lot of the ball as of late, cutting away with a deft move to the middle of the field. She'll swing it wide. Crafting her way in is Olivia Welch. She's got 2 today. Nice defensive play by Riley Russo, who really, talking about the play of Nichols, the counterpart on the other side of the field defensively has been the play of Russo. She's been pretty stout for a lot of the afternoon.
Ben, we just saw clinic soccer on the side of the tent. You have these subs talking to their girls, cheering them on. You have Nichols, again, instead of getting nervous and kicking the ball out, collecting the ball even though she has pressure and able to move it forward. She splits a gal. You have great defensive work by Lewis Central, and then you have Dryman doing that cut, moving the ball forward. I mean, that was clinic.
Good move on the far side from Vogt, cutting back to her right foot, connecting with Thompson, but she was offside as the pass came in. Now you're hearing right in front of us here, nice setup by our broadcast crew, the natural sound mic. You got 3 Titans getting set to come in. Zoe Overall checking back in. Cassie Williams is there, as is Emma Kafka. And you pointed that out right away, partner, how good teams are vocal teams, and we've seen that from both sides here this afternoon.
You have to not just tell your team where the other players are and your surroundings, because you have lots of blind spots, but also just the encouragement. It really helps, especially when you're down. And to hearing it from your teammates sitting here on the sidelines and being helpful and encouraging, not frustrating and encouraging, is great work by these teams as we go into another water break.
With that, we'll grab some H2O. And good time for you to grab some H2O as well if you're looking for a commercial break. That's what's on the way here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American. Still 4-0 Warriors.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Coverage of the girls' state soccer tournament here in the state of Iowa continues on the IGHSAU digital network powered by Mid-American Energy. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason. Welcoming you back here to the final 19 minutes and 41 seconds of our second half. Norwalk still in control. However, Lewis Central has found a better second half here, starting to get and test Katie Litke in the pipes a little bit more for this Norwalk team. Natalie, give or take 20 years since you were at the state tournament. One of the big differences will be, of course, the fact that it was in Muscatine, not here in Ames. But walking back into the grounds, I know you had some memories flooding back from your time high school soccer here in the state of Iowa with Valley. But what are some of the things you've noticed that maybe aren't the same, leaving out, of course, the location?
Yeah, when I was reviewing the rule book, right away I thought, they are 40-minute halves or 45-minute halves. So these gals were playing 10 minutes less than what we're used to playing. And I asked myself, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And then, of course, I said, well, it depends on if you're down or not. I vividly remember our sophomore state final as a center midfielder. I turned to that ref in the center, I think, about 5 times asking how much time's left because we were up 1-0 and we just wanted the game to be over. I just am a traditionalist. I like the 45 minutes, but I understand, especially with this heat, how nice it is to only play 40. So I'd say that's a big difference. Also, I learned when I used to play, if you got a yellow card, you had to sit for the whole half, which just was the worst. So I sat, unfortunately, for a good chunk of halves during the season. But present day, once you get a yellow card, you have to sub out, and then you can sub right back in. So it's nice for those players that play a little bit more aggressive. And then the third thing is, we did not wear bows in our hair and glitter, so that's all been very new to me. I feel like I'm at a softball tournament, but everyone's doing it. It's kind of fun. The field next to us, the coach dyed his hair too, so that adds a little bit more fun to it.
Certainly pomp and circumstance. If there's a time to bring that kind of activity, of that kind of behavior to a game, this is obviously the place to do it. No grander stage for any of these girls to play at this age, and there'll likely be some players moving on to some bigger and brighter lights, but as of right now, as grand of a stage as it gets here in Ames, I should mention that sophomore state title, I believe it was you who scored that goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. My head still hurts, but things that haven't changed, that it's been fun. In the parking lot we saw the writing on the cars, and just seeing all the parents come in with their Coleman chairs, and the excitement of the girls, like all of that is still very much the same. And I've noticed, I was looking at these gals' socks, we used to tape our shin guards, and I'm not seeing tape on anyone's socks, which is crazy because we used to have tape balls and all sorts of things, but no tape, just shin guards, no sleeves. So there are some little differences even with uniforms.
Imagine maybe the shin guards, the technology's gotten better. They stay up better now maybe than they did in your day.
Yeah, we used to put ours in boiling water to mesh to our shins. I don't even know if they still do that. But they were great. They were the Cobra shin guards, and we all loved them.
You could ask Aubrey Holcomb right in front of us here if she still does that or not. As Aubrey's going to check in, as well as her teammate Ella Seeley. These substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Head to imtins.com to learn how you can be worry-free with IMT.
Well, there's 17 minutes left, and they're down by 4. Obviously, some anxiety is certainly setting in by now. It's not unheard of. It can be done. Gosh, we watched it in hockey in the Stanley Cup just a few nights ago. Different game, of course, but it can be done. But this team needs to really focus if they want to make that comeback. And their goalie is helping them.
Purcell active again. You took the words right out of my mouth. Coming out there to cut away that incisive pass from Pearl Brown, who's really had herself a nice afternoon. Fafka back for Kayla Allen, senior captain of this Titans team. Now overall looking wide. That ball not quite where it needed to be, where she needs to be at all times. Paige Nichols there to cut it away. And this one's cleared out by Norwalk's Gabrielle Dryman. Checking back in now for the Titans, the freshman Robichaud, who really has been in the middle of the small grouping of offensive pushes that this Lewis Central team has had here in the second half. And imagine we'll see her probably for the majority of the rest of this game for head coach Jesse Smith and the Titans.
And great work by center midfielder Emma Caffa. You can tell she doesn't want to give up yet, and just outpacing her Norwalk teammate.
Counterpart.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Happens to me all the time.
That competitor sounded wrong. Right there, you just heard Kayla Allen say, "Sorry, I should have just taken my time there." That's I would say is a theme of Lewis Central. They're getting too worried about being too fast. Obviously now it's a different game with 15 minutes left, but that's been kind of a theme throughout their previous 65 minutes.
Norwalk has done a tremendous job at making this field feel a lot smaller than it is. It has been a tricky thing to do, trying to create time and space here for Lewis Central, as Reese Gradeville, the freshman, will come in. Stepping out now, going to the bench, is Anna Whitney. Another IMT insurance substitution. Stoking this one high into the air, Gabrielle Dryman.
Yeah, and so as your goal as a defender there, especially when you're down, is to maintain the ball, but certainly if anything it needs to go out of bounds, you got to hit it off the opposite player so you can get that throw forward.
Loop to the middle by Seeley. The sure feet of Elena O'Connor now on display. Trying to work her way around Lucy Edwards. That one's brushed back ahead by the steady feet of Riley Russo. Now here's O'Connor again for Brown. Kafka in the way. She's been working her way around the field like a water bug since she's come on. Great pace, great pressure. A little bit of trouble there for Purcell as she came out to cut away that look towards the box, and she's able to corral it and then sky it to the far side. Taken momentarily by Gradeville, and again the defense of Norwalk has been stingy. That's Claire Sandoff, the sophomore, who started in 17 games this year, make it 18 with the start today. Robichaud looking for Overall, who has been silenced on the day despite a brilliant junior season with 25 goals. There's a flash of brilliance as she jets her way up the middle and gets brought down. So now this will be a look at a free kick.
And what a move. I mean, she had two gals on her, and she pulled the ball to her left to go in between both of them, and then she got a foul off of it. So great work. Per usual by Zoe Overall.
It just makes you wonder what it must have looked like when she'd make a move like that and then had White on her wing.
Exactly. Lewis Central is doing a good job, but I'm guessing that they're missing Ireland right now.
So now the free kick. That one's a bit wide. And so the chance comes and goes, and some substitutions on the way here. Taylor Schreiber for the Warriors and Ava Baker Jr. trotting back out for Lewis Central. IMT Insurance substitutions here as the day grows late in Ames. A 4-0 Norwalk lead that was gathered in the first half. No goals here in the second half. Although we did just hear the crowd erupt behind us as North Scott has just made it a 3-0 game behind us here. The other 2A game going on right now here at Lead Fields.
Ben, with 70 minutes down and 85-degree heat, there has not been a change of pace. These gals are still running quickly. They're still making passes. That's always so impressive to see the conditioning of these players. Now, granted, it should be. We're in the state tournament. They've been playing the whole season, but they have not been playing in this kind of heat the whole season. So well done by the coaching staff getting their girls trained and conditioned, as well as the girls themselves doing the work to be able to play a full 80-minute game in heat with no wind.
knowing full well you weren't in the get-together during the half, has Norwalk tweaked their game plan at all with a 4-0 lead going into the second half? Have they looked at all different in maybe what they're trying to do, or have they just kept the pedal to the metal even though they haven't added in anything to their lead? Part of that is, though, of course, Purcell's made some big saves.
Honestly, I don't think that they've made any change. And looking at just how they're set up, they're still doing their flat back four. They haven't made an adjustment in their positioning. They've continued to use their flanks really well. They are just as strong on the ball. The players who keep their composure the best, like the Nichols, continue to do that even under pressure. So I truly think that they have just kept on keeping on, and not much has changed, other than they might just be a bit more hot.
Out comes O'Connor, and IMT Insurance substitution here with 10:16 remaining in the second half. Nichols in the way again. And per usual, despite the pressure, handles it very calmly. That's Kayla Allen for Robichaud. Again, the space just gets swallowed up so fast. As much as we've talked about the midfield with the ball for Norwalk, defensively, you could say just as much. Whether it's Pearl Brown stepping in off the bench at times, Bella Moody's had some nice moments. It's a Norwalk team that's looked calm, cool, and collected despite the blazing sun here on a Monday afternoon. We'll head for a mandatory water break, the final one of the contest. Getting into the miracle hour now, it's Lewis Central trying frantically to get back into this game. We'll come back at the remaining 9:30 next.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Remaining 9:30 of this 2A quarterfinal between the Norwalk Warriors and the Lewis Central Titans is on the way here on the IGHSAU digital network, powered by MidAmerican. Ben Gislason, Natalie Gislason, in a 4-0 Norwalk lead. Natalie, for these seniors on this Titans team, they're going to be the ones that are going to need to lead the way if there's a miracle left in this one. But what's on these players' minds right now as they step into what could be the final 10 minutes of their high school soccer careers?
Like you said, something would have to go very wrong on Norwalk's end for them to have a comeback with 5 goals in 10 minutes in a soccer match where you have 100 yards to work through, or 120. And so I think they're being honest with themselves and that they've got 10 minutes left of their high school career. they're telling themselves that it's been a great 4 years. They want to still perform at the highest level in the next 10 minutes. They want to be proud of those 10 minutes, but they also want to try and almost make time stop and take a moment in saying, this is it. I mean, some may play club and continue to play for a little bit longer or go to college and play, but for the most part, this is the last soccer game they'll play at this level. And so they are just trying to hopefully, even though they're down 4-0, really enjoy it. They're never going to get this team back again, and that's, for all of us that are athletes from our high school teams, we loved our high school teams, and you don't get that group of girls back again. So to really take it in and try and enjoy it while also still defending.
Anna Whitney, Kayla Allen, Ava Baker Jr., Olivia Katzer. The 4 seniors that could very well be playing their last high school soccer match here today. Remaining 8:29 now in this 2A quarterfinal. Interesting to think about this team, though, when you're looking at it, and harder to look at it from the seniors' perspective, who know they won't be coming back, but you're seeing a very heavily laden junior team in this Lewis Central club, specifically players like Zoe Overall, players like Ireland White, who's not playing today due to injury, but you see really some of the meat of this team is their junior class, and to get here, to see what it's like, to know the experience, to see the top of 2A in Norwalk like they're seeing here, win or lose in this game. This is a team that will leave and say, hey, we've been here now. We've got some really talented players that are going to come back, and they're going to be those seniors next year, and then we're going to take a big swing at this thing.
That will fuel their season next season. They will remember at the very first game what it was like to lose in the quarterfinals of the state tournament, and they will say, we do not want to do that again. We will get there, and we will get past that. We need to do what we need to do this season to make sure that we are there. So I think, as much as this is a bummer for the seniors, an experience like this can be that motivator for those juniors and sophomores that get a taste of it, but it's just such a brief taste. And so this will hopefully supercharge their season next year to come back to not only the state tournament quarterfinals, but to advance forward.
On the other side, Norwalk looking poised to be a team to reckon with. They will likely see North Scott, who's up 3-0 on Gilbert right now, on the field behind us here. And so that should be a great showdown at 2:30 coming up later this week in the semifinals of the 2A tournament.
And I look then at the Norwalk roster of that team. 11 are seniors. This is a big moment for them. They're going to get this win in the next 6.5 minutes, and then they are going to be ready for the next one. These girls have been together for 4 years. They want to make it count. They're hungry. They're a strong team. They're coming into the tournament as the best team. They do not want to be upset, and this is the last round for them. So the next game will be quite a fun one as well.
A nightcap tonight in the 2A tournament as Norwalk's able to tack one more on, and that looks like Olivia Welch, who has got her hat trick here for a 5-0 Warriors lead. Nice free kick as well, as that was put into the mix by Tatum Miller.
It was a great free kick, and that's from a sophomore. Notice how you had a wall built. They all jumped, which you're never supposed to do. and she went around them on the left, so the wall was of no help, and it went right to a player, and that's where your defenders need to be really strong. Something like that can't get through, so well done by Norwalk.
As I was saying, the nightcap tonight, the two teams that have met in the 2A Final 4 of the last 5 seasons, Waverly Shell Rock and Dallas Center Grimes. They aren't playing each other yet. They'll both have to get past their respective quarterfinal opponents for it to happen again. Is now a chance developing. And Lewis Central wanted a penalty there as Anna Whitney got knocked down trying to put one on the board late here for the Titans. But this is going to be a play on as Jesse Smith comes over to have a word with the official.
Admittedly, I didn't think it was a call, but I would be frustrated if I was Lewis Central because they've been calling everything. You got to match your calls. So that to me again was foot on foot or foot on ball contact. That's fine, but you can't call for one and not the other.
Waverly Shell Rock has North Polk coming up later on tonight at 5:30, then at 5:45, DCG and Bishop Heelan. A couple of good contests. We'll see if either of the lower seeds can manage to upset two of the heavy favorites coming into this tournament. Now a look in the box. It's loose. Here's Robichaud trying to get the shot through. And shouldn't be surprised, Norwalk, despite the 5-0 lead, they're not relenting defensively at all. That was terrifically played by Taylor Schreiber, really close to the goal line.
Yeah, Stella Robichaud there. She just took one extra touch, and that gave the defenders enough time, but she couldn't do anything else. She couldn't turn there, so she had to take that touch. So that was the best result that she could have had.
Well, she's been a bright spot for this Lewis Central team when they've had their looks, and they've been hard to come by. A very smothering Norwalk defensive group.
Great pass.
Beautiful move and speed here, and going for her hat trick. Wood sails it high of the crossbar, but that was another good chance as Wood was trying to keep pace with her fellow scoring partner in Olivia Welch. 2 goals from Wood, 3 from Welch. A 5-0 lead into the final 4 minutes of this quarterfinal here on the IGHSAU Digital Network, powered by Mid-American.
We need to give Lewis Central credit where credit's due. This whole half, only 1 goal has been scored by Norwalk, and it's very recent. This is a very even half, the second half. So well done on Lewis Central for playing a tough game, and well done on Norwalk for not letting up. We're seeing something happen here that we don't often see in a soccer game, and that's a goalie substitution. So always fun to see a goalie substitution, see what this gal's got in the last 3 minutes. Let's go.
This one looped in by Miller, who had the assist on that most recent Welch goal.
Ben, I noticed both goalies here for Norwalk.
Long try and a 6th goal for the Warriors. And that was Wood, who's got her 3rd.
So that's 2 hat tricks. Wow.
Which I've noticed in soccer, unlike hockey, no one throws hats.
No, I think it would take a while for us to collect those hats. We aren't on skates.
That's probably a good observation.
I think it's great work by the coach here. You got 2 seniors as goalkeepers, getting the other goalkeeper in. But also, I'm worried if I'm the coach. You got 2 goalkeepers and they're both seniors. So what does next year look like? Hopefully, they've got some great goalie opportunities on the JV team.
And Elise Lamon's going to get a touch. And you can hear maybe some family, friends in the stands cheering for Elise. Those are the cool moments that you want to spotlight. Lamon, who came in some moments for this Norwalk team briefly this season, does have 6 saves to her name this season.
And Zoe overall is just not giving up. And I love that. I love that pressure. And she is all over the field, and she is usually in the forward position.
You certainly think about what the trio up front could look like with a healthy Ireland White overall, and seems to be someone that, at least from our vantage point in Robichaud, who might be someone that could be a force to be reckoned with as a sophomore next year. For a Lewis Central team that will undoubtedly leave Ames frustrated at the way this one's going to come to a close. 6-0 at this point here in the waning minutes of this quarterfinal. But there feels like there's a nucleus to this team that could be something to keep an eye on in the Hawkeye 10 Conference next year for the Lewis Central Titans, and they'll hope to make their way right back here to Ames a year from now, and they'll look for better tidings in their quarterfinal in 2027 than unfortunately they've been dealing with here in 2026. But a very comprehensive performance by this Norwalk team. We've seen in some brief moments the goalkeeping, and Katie Litke, she had some moments back when the game was just 4-0. It could have been 4-2 if not for a couple of good Litke saves when Lewis Central came out and put forth a great effort in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. We've seen so much from the likes of Paige Nichols. We've talked about Claire Sandhoff, her game, and the way that back four for this Norwalk team is played. The midfielders we've talked the most about, and the numbers for Welch and Wood, 5 of the 6 goals, actually all 6 goals, pardon me, 2 hat tricks. Don't need to talk much more about that. The stats speak for themselves. This is a deep team. They have strength all over the field, and they're likely going to be a handful as the fans will stand and the Norwalk Warriors will march their way into the semifinals. A convincing 6-0 win over Lewis Central here as the quarterfinals are behind Norwalk. The semis are ahead.
Yeah, I look at the respect from the fans and the parents, both sides, standing up and cheering. This was a great performance. I think Lewis Central, they had some down times, but they did a great job, and Purcell did a great job. They will be hungry for more, and they will be back next year. I can't talk enough about Norwalk. I mean, all 3 lines were outstanding. The goalie was outstanding, like you said. Just the excitement in their faces, but they deserve it. Like, they did not do much, if anything, wrong. So well done by Norwalk, well deserved by Norwalk. And we got to do the regular congratulatory. Great job.
What a season.
Well, we're going to get some good Nat sound here, too. The respect between these two teams and good games all around. And a Lewis Central team that will be hungry to come back. They've had a taste of what this feels like. We've talked about just how much pageantry and how big in the stage that this tournament is. And now that the Titans have seen it, they will get ready to put a good off-season in and come back with a very strong junior class, and they'll try to make their way back here to Ames in 2027. But for Norwalk, their journey is far from over. They are getting set to punch their ticket to the semifinals. It looks like the North Scott Lancers will be waiting as they're up 3-0 in the final 10 minutes of their game against Gilbert right now. But we know one side of the semifinal 2A bracket will be Norwalk, as Lewis Central is congratulated on a terrific season. And just because you lose in the quarterfinals of a state tournament does not relinquish all that it took to get them here. And a 2A team in the Titans who will be starving to get back for this moment come next season.
Yeah, again, I have no question that they'll be here back season, especially with the amount of juniors that they have.
And the party is on for Norwalk, and they'll have 2 days to think about what Game 2 here looks like. It's a Thursday afternoon matchup. We'll have the coverage for you here on the IGHSAU Digital Network powered by Mid-American. Natalie, final thoughts on Game 1 before we get set for Game 2 here in not too long.
Outstanding soccer. What a great tournament. You can just see the excitement on the girls' faces, and of course the frustration by Lewis Central, but they both should be very proud of what they've done to get here, and Norwalk should be very proud of their game today. And Lewis Central, they did some good stuff, and they will learn from it, and they, like I said, they will be back. But Norwalk should take this in and really enjoy it, and well done by the Iowa girls program to make the pomp and circumstance here at the end of the game to match the energy of the girls. So outstanding soccer. This is why it is the best sport, better than hockey and all other sports. But we've had a great time, and this is 2 great teams.
Well, Natalie, a real treat to share the broadcast perch here with you in Ames. And on behalf of